Deepwoken. If you're clicking on this video, chances are you've either heard of it, or you just really love fantasy novels. This is the game that's likely consumed a decent chunk of your life since its release back in December of 2021. At the time, Monad Studios introduced something completely unfamiliar, something that stood apart from the rest. Aside from their previous game, Rogue Lineage, most RPGs on Roblox, while fun in bursts, lacked any real lore, originality, or soul. The platform was flooded with bandit beating, One Piece, simulator, cash grabs. But then, Deepwoken arrived. And on the evening of December 20th, 2021, the platform of Roblox changed forever. From the moment it launched, I saw something in it. Something frighteningly exciting in its potential. I still, to this day, remember the awe of exploring Upper Arisia for the first time with my friends, being absolutely petrified of Sharkos in week 1. I remember the first time I stepped in the vast sands of the Hive, where a certain mother thrusher made every corner feel like death. For the lack of better words, I truly was hooked. It wasn't really a game to me at that time. It was a world. It was mythological to me. I hadn't played a game other than Elden Ring to that quality. For Roblox, it truly was utterly foreign. I've played my share of Souls games, took inspiration. I still take inspiration for Heartsbane from Souls games. Regardless, at the time, Deepwoken was a breath of fresh air. And to someone like me, who also happens to be obsessed with literary fiction, it was something of a call to action. And I knew one day that I had to combine these two passions, game and narrative, into something personal to myself, and further my career while doing so. So I began writing Heartsbane. And from the very beginning, since I started the outline itself, I had two specific goals in mind. One being capture the essence of Deepwoken's world, its atmosphere, its danger, the vibrance and detail of every single landmark, every crumbling fortress, every whispering corner of the Luminant. Its world building is elite, and it deserves something equally ambitious in narrative format. And two, being create a story that leaves a mark. Something that doesn't just thrill you in the moment, but something that lingers. Something that haunts you, grips you, thematically, emotionally, maybe even spiritually. Heartsbane is a mature-rated fantasy novel, not because of anything suggestive or graphic, but because of its emotional depth. It's a story about survivor's guilt, about the consequences of obsession, and about how far people will go to chase a dream, and what they may lose along the way. And at the center of it all is Zidane Valley. A brash, impulsive Tyran with heterochromia and an ego big enough to sink an ironclad. Throughout his entire life, Zidane Valley has felt a gravitational pull. Something deep, wordless, and buried far beneath the waves. He's ignored it for years, but desperation leaves little room for hesitation. His guild, the Golden Round Table, is hunted, cornered at every turn. Their only path left leads into myth itself. With their treasure nearly emptied after a string of unsuccessful robberies and ventures across the Etrian Luminant, they set their sights on Seltor, the drowned city. A name passed in whispers, said to lie beneath the sea itself. Some call it a salvation, others a death sentence. But Zidane hears it calling, whispering. It resonates with a voice inside of him. A voice that refuses to be quelled, refuses to be silenced. As the world around them descends into chaos, war, betrayal, and the blood price of survival becomes ever so steep, Zidane and his guild chase a fleeting dream. But dreams aren't always what they seem. And some doors, once opened, drown much more than they save. Heartsbane is my debut fantasy novel, and I genuinely couldn't have asked for a better community to build an audience from. My end goal is to put a hardcover copy of Heartsbane on a bookshelf near you and collaborate with the Deepwoken developers themselves. I'm glad to have each and every single one of you aboard for this journey. I'm overwhelmed by the amount of support Heartsbane has been receiving these last few days, weeks, months, and for lack of a better words, it fuels me. I'm grateful for all of your comments, and to be honest, I'm grateful I have people who are actually willing to set aside their time to read my work. I want to make Heartsbane the Deepwoken novel. I want to advance my career as an author whilst simultaneously creating something beautiful, nuanced, and thought-provoking that Deepwoken players and non-Deepwoken players alike can enjoy. Please, if you have the time, give Heartsbane a chance. I can nearly guarantee you that you won't regret it. If you find yourself enjoying it, maybe consider sharing it with a friend. Any spreading of the word helps. As an author trying to build his audience, I'm grateful to all of you once again. Though there is something that I want to make very, very clear. I am not the pioneer of writing a Deepwoken fantasy novel. And if you take the time to look through the fan media channel of the Deepwoken Discord server, you'll come to see that there are plenty of other amazing works by incredibly talented members of this community, such as Adept's Cradle by Miles Composes. Lastly, I have a question to ask you guys. Do you miss the nostalgia of the first months of Deepwoken? Though the current state of Deepwoken is, well, questionable. I'd like to think I infused Heartsbane with the essence of old Deepwoken. That week one feeling of exploration. That is what I'm attempting to capture in my work. With that being said, the link to Heartsbane is in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, consider giving it a read, and joining the official Heartsbane Discord server, which is also linked in the description below. It is also on Royalroad, if you aren't a fan of the good old Google document. Thanks again, and as always, resonate.